he said, unto the law, sin was in the world. What was the law? The law was the law of Moses. The law of Moses was the law. And the law of Moses is what people still believe in till today. People still believe in the law of Moses till today. And this law was given to him by God. Now, the Ten Commandments was written in a tablet. According to the Bible, it was written in stones and then was given to Moses to deliver to the children of Israel. And God himself wrote this with his hands. This was the Ten Commandments. Now, if you go to the book of Leviticus, there are a lot of laws there made by Moses to the children of Israel. And first of all, we need to understand why was Moses writing all those laws to the children of Israel. These are knowledge that we all walk and pass away from, but we just like to derive our own understanding. So what was the law? What was the reason why Moses wrote those laws? Was because of the stiff-necked people called the children of Israel. The Bible said they were stiff-necked people, which simply means they were very rigid and they lack understanding of God's word. They lack the understanding of the prophets. They don't want to believe what the prophet is saying. And by then, the only way God can speak to the people of Israel was through the prophets. And without the prophet, you cannot hear from God. Nobody can hear from God except through the prophet. Now, God spoke to Moses. And then, I want you to understand something. We believe that God spoke to Moses. And Moses was the flesh. Moses was not Jesus. Moses was in the flesh. Moses was not Jesus. He was bound to be tempted. The only person who God mentioned to be perfect was Jesus. There were a lot of people who worked for God, but they were not perfect. But God, they still work for God. But Jesus, the Bible says he was perfect. Now Moses, if I should say, Moses was not perfect. So when people begin to bring the law of Moses and say we must abide to it, Moses was not perfect. And then based on the understanding Moses was having with the people, he wanted peace. He wanted everybody to move amicably. What did he do? He have to bring them, have a law on ground so that people can abide to it equally. Everybody can have an equal right. They can share at their opinion and they will agree to this opinion. That's why Moses was there to agree to their opinion. Then he wrote all these opinions in the Leviticus and he said, do this, do that, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So all these laws were given to the children of Israel, but not directly from God, but from Moses to arrange the people of Israel. Even Solomon wrote some laws that people are still abiding to today, but people will not count it as relevant. But Moses is the upright one. Solomon has a law. You remember when they were trying to divide the baby, and what was the law? He said somebody wanted to take someone's child accidentally because a child was killed by herself. So she wanted to swap it because they were giving birth the same day at the same place, the same area, the same room. So before the mother came back, he exchanged it. And the mother knew her child was very much alive before she left. And when she came back, she saw it that her child was dead. And then there was an argument that saying it was your child that is dead, it's not my own. They swapped the child. And most Solomon have to bring them together so that they will not be quarreling and fighting up and down. You have to say, bring out a law. I will call this a law. I'll call it a law. Why? Because if you can abide to it, it will justify your deeds. So the law helps to justify your doings. The law helps to justify your doings. So Solomon have to tell the two of them, bring your child. And then they brought the child that was alive. They brought the child that was dead. And then the one who was wrongly having the child was saying, this is my child. And then Solomon said, we want there to be peace. This one that is alive, let us split this child into two. You take one part, you take one part, so that there will be peace. Now, this is an example of the law Moses placed. What was the example of the law Moses placed was that if you break my thing, I will break your thing. If you wound my child, I will wound your same child. If it's a boy, I will wound the boy child. If it's a girl, I will wound the girl child. If you break my bone mistakenly, I will break your bone purposely, so that there will be peace. So Solomon have to say, let us divide this baby, and you take one part and you take. Normally, on a normal sense, it doesn't make sense to divide the baby and the baby will remain alive. It will be dead. When a baby is divided into two, the baby will be dead totally. Splitted into two is like a meat. But Solomon have to bring that law. And this was not the law of Moses. This was the law of Solomon, just to create peace. And he said, let's split the baby. And the wrongful owner of the child was saying, it is better, it's better, it's better. So this one will help to understand that this person that is saying, and the other person, when he heard the news that we are splitting this way, say, no, don't split the child. Just let the child live. I give it to you. Let the child live. I give it to you. Just let us split the child. This one will show to you that the wrongful owner is the one telling them to split the child, because his own is already dead. So she don't have anything to lose. So this was the reason why law of the covenant, which is the Leviticus, was given to the children of Israel by Moses. Until today, Israel is still obeying that law as if Moses was the Messiah. He was just a human being. The Bible never said Moses was a Messiah. He was just a human being like you and I. And Moses has ups and downs. Moses is not a perfect human being. Even as present as today, there are a lot of people who are more perfect than Moses. If everything God created were good, the question is this: are there some imperfect things? Genesis chapter 1 from verse 31.